Ja, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, ab hier habe ich es relativ einfach. Ich überreiche Sie jetzt offiziell an die Honorabilien, die Ehrenwerte, die Gäste, die Präsidenten und auch an die Minister. Begrüßen Sie mit mir als erstes bitte den Präsidenten der Friedrich-Schiller-University, the President of the Friedrich-Schiller-University, Professor Walter Rosenthal. Herzlich willkommen.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the President of the University of Jena, I'm very pleased to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the International Year of Global Understanding. I'm delighted with the great number of national and international guests here today. And I'm especially happy to see many Jena students and citizens here. A warm welcome to all of you. It's a great honor for me to welcome the Thuringian Minister of Economy, Science and the Digital Society, Mr. Wolfgang Tiefensee. I also welcome the former Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, and Federal Minister of Environment, Mr. Klaus Töpfer. He's one of the patrons of the International Year of Global Understanding. Mr. Töpfer will present the opening address, 9 Milliarden Menschen im Anthropozän, Herausforderungen für das internationale Year of Global Understanding. Das kann man nicht übersetzen, haben wir gerade gehört. Auf Englisch, 9 billion people in the Anthropocene, challenges for IYGU. I'm looking forward to this speech and I'm very thankful that both of you, Mr. Tiefensee and Mr. Töpfer, could make it to Jena today. The International Year was initiated by the International Geographical Union. I'm therefore very pleased to welcome the President, Mr. Vladimir Kolosov from Russia, and the past President of IGU, Mr. Ron Abler from the US. Thank you for coming today. Furthermore, I heartily welcome the representatives of the various international science councils, Mr. Luis Osterbeck from Portugal and Mr. Adama Samaseku from Mali, both from the International Council for Philosophy and Human Sciences. Mr. Mathieu Denis from Canada, from the International Social Science Council, and Mr. Martin Fisbeck from Germany, from the International Council for Science. The International Year of Global Understanding is a partner of Future Earth, a research initiative on global environmental change and sustainability. I am very happy that the Executive Director of Future Earth, Mr. Paul Srivastava from India, is here today. Welcome to Jena. And last but not least, it's a great pleasure to welcome the Executive Director of the International Year of Global Understanding, my colleague Benno Verlen. You, your team, and all the other people behind the initiative have worked extremely hard to get the International Year of Global Understanding proclaimed. Allow me to congratulate you on this great success. Thank you very much. The Friedrich-Schiller-University Jena was the place where Benno Verlen developed the idea and laid the foundation for the International Year of Global Understanding. We are very proud that our university gave birth to this initiative, and it's only due to you, Mr. Verlen, and to the other people behind the IYGU that the idea of a worldwide initiative has become reality. Two areas of research are closely linked to the idea of global understanding: ecology and sustainability. It's interesting that both of them relate to our university. As you probably know, the zoologist Ernst Haeckel originally coined the term ecology in the middle of the 19th century. Haeckel was a professor at the University of Jena for almost 50 years. He coined the term ecology to designate a branch of biology that deals with the way organisms relate to their external world. The growing environmental awareness in the second half of the 20th century ensured the global use of the term ecology. Today, it's used in a much broader sense. The hallmark of ecology, as we understand it today, is an encompassing view of nature. With a disciplinary focus on processes, interactions, and relations, ecology is a model for what we regard as global understanding. The second term, sustainability, is also connected to Jena. It was Hans Karl von Karlowitz, a student at the alma mater jenensis, who coined sustainability as a concept. This was more than 300 years ago in a book on sustainable forest management called Silvicultura Economica. The book advocates the conservation, cultivation, and the use of wood in a continuing, stable, and sustainable manner. In this book, we find the first documented use of the German term Nachhaltigkeit, sustainability. These references were a journey into the past. However, it's not difficult to see that today's University of Vienna is also involved in ecological research and research on sustainable development, and this to a rather high degree. Let me give you a few examples. Together with the universities of Halle and Leipzig, the University of Vienna runs the German Center for Integrative Biodiversity Research, in short IDIF. It's a large-scale project funded by the DFG, funded for up to 12 years. The IDIF conducts top-level research on environmental changes, sustainable development, and bioresources management. This line of research is vital for understanding the exact causes of rapid species loss against the backdrop of global environmental change and in terms of drawing up projections and courses of action. The future energy supply is another field of research at our university. Chemists and material scientists are trying to find answers for a sustainable and resource-saving supply for energy and its storage. At the Center for Energy and Environmental Chemistry, CECC Jena, headed by and coordinated by Ulrich Schubert, a team of researchers is working on a technology for a new kind of battery. In contrast to the conventional batteries, which require expensive materials and aggressive acids, this new technology utilizes organic materials. The batteries of the future can be produced much cheaper than previously, and they do not need heavy metals or metal salts. This makes them safe, easy to handle, and sustainable. If we shift our perspective and examine the field of economics, we find another example of research on sustainable development, the Jena Africa Study Group. This group was established to do research on policy consulting, on developmental strategies in the sub-Saharan Africa region. It examines the micro-foundations of economic development, taking regional and national specificities into account and utilizing cooperation networks in Africa and in Germany. The social sciences are analyzing the conditions of well-being and sustainability in a wider context. Sociologists at our university are challenging the growth-based system of modern societies. They have established a research group called Post-Wachstumsgesellschaften, post-growth societies. It's also funded by the German Research Foundation. Together with their colleagues in Germany and abroad, they address the question of whether there is a way to stabilize modern societies other than by means of economic growth. This, of course, leads back to the program of the International Year of Global Understanding. I quote, "The International Year of Global Understanding addresses the ways in which we inhabit an increasingly globalized world. How do we transform nature? How do we build new social and political relationships for the emerging global reality? Societies and cultures determine the way we live and shape nature. They influence how we perceive the global consequences of our everyday actions. We need to understand what our daily actions mean for the world as a whole in order to overcome global challenges." Unquote. To raise awareness of the beliefs and attitudes which underlie everyday decisions is an important issue, not only for psychologists, scientists from all disciplines, social and natural sciences, as well as from the humanities, are needed to improve our understanding of the challenges we face in the 21st century. Only with a deeper understanding of the urgent questions of our time, will we change our way of thinking. Think globally, act locally. That's the task for every one of us. Starting from here, from Jena and our university, I hope that the International Year of Global Understanding will achieve its goals. I wish you the greatest possible success all over the world. Thank you.